Studies have shown that around 39% of relationships start online.
So with the next date only one swipe away, how do you know when you found the one?
So with so many potential partners, how do you know when to stop searching?
For this problem, let's assign some dating rules. You can't move on to your next date unless you reject your current one.
You can't return to a previous date because their heart is broken.
Out of the 3 dates lined up, let's say one is a great match, one is acceptable, and the other one is a terrible match.
The problem is, you don't know this information beforehand and you don't know which order you'll meet them on your dates.
It could be that the great match is first, the acceptable match is second, and the terrible match is last.
Or it could be that the terrible match is first, the acceptable match is second, and the great match is last.
There are another 4 possible ways the dates could be ordered. Let's figure out who you would end up with if we implemented the strategy to not settle for the starting date and pick the first one after them that's better.
In the first ordering, this means you reject the great match because they're first. You also reject the acceptable match because they're worse than the great match. And finally, you have to go for the terrible match because they're the only one left.
In the second ordering, you reject the terrible match because they're up first. The acceptable match is up next, and because they're better than the first date, you settle for them and never go on the third date.
In the third ordering, you reject the acceptable match because they're the first one. The great match is next, and because they're better than the first option, you partner up.
We can follow this same strategy to figure out who we end up with for each of the different possible date orders. Out of all the different scenarios, we end up with the great match in 3 of them, a 50% success rate.
Unfortunately, as the number of potential partners gets larger and larger, this strategy of rejecting only the first date, then choosing the one after that who's better, is less and less likely to result in your best match.
It turns out, after working through some quite complicated mathematics, the optimal strategy is always to date and reject the first 37% of your potential partners, then choose the next date who's better than all the previous ones.
This will result in your best match 37% of the time.
Who needs luck when you've got maths on your side?